on board. I don't know if it was even before we were on the island, they were passing out these buttons that say, "New international trade crossing, build the bridge." And I said, thank you. Could I have an extra one for Mr. Moroun when I see him? Because I don't think the argument is whether we build a bridge or not. I think everybody wants another bridge. I think they know that we need a bridge, a new bridge, if you will. In fact, even you and your dad think that you need a new bridge. We have Matt Moroun with us, the son of Ambassador Bridge owner Matthew Moroun. I saw Nora Moroun out there. The whole family is involved in this because it's a family business. And generally, I lean toward good family businesses and say, let the family business build the bridge. Everybody knows that we need another bridge or a backup bridge or however you want to, whatever you want to call it. It's become such a political animal. It's Sndyer, time to build a bridge. The governor is going for this new international trade crossing being a job for the government rather than private industry. The rest of it just gets very confusing to me. I don't know. You know, right. I know you want to build the bridge because it's your family business. It's what you've been doing very successfully for years. I understand that.
Right.
I'm not so certain why we want the state to get involved and to be in a position of possibly, when things go wrong, and they always do, costing us more money. We don't have the money. So that part of it I'm a little confused with. Let me ask just the specifics for you.
Sure.
Here's the things that are out there saying, well, if the state builds a bridge, it'll be good union jobs. If the Marouns build the bridge, they won't use union workers. Your response?
Malarkey. That can't happen. You can't build a major piece of infrastructure in the country, let alone our city, without using good union work.
All right. How are they going to build a bridge if Canada has made it very clear they don't want the bridge or more traffic to exit the bridge or get on the bridge right in that certain area where they do now in Canada, where it's congested and trucks are backed up and all of that for blocks, whatever it might be.
Right.
And Canada is not going to let you do it. How do you do it then? I mean, you got a bridge to nowhere.
Well, you know, that's really a bad rumor or supposition. Canada is going to follow the rules. They're going to allow our environmental process to go through. We've done everything that we're supposed to do. Are they keen on having an American own the bridge? No, they're not, but that's just their opinion. They're a country of rules and laws, and they're going to follow them, and we're going to be allowed to build the bridge. The road that they're talking about on the Canadian side is a 6-lane divided highway. It's got a couple of stoplights that the Canadians should fix. After all, the U.S. spent a lot of money connecting roads to the bridge in the United States. They could spend a little bit of money on their road, but it's not a bad road. It's they got to have some excuse for why they want the state to fund with taxpayer money another bridge.
Well, and then they're throwing some money at it, though.
Sure they are.
And that money then is being leveraged by the governor to get more money from our federal government to fix our roads. And boy, whenever you talk about fixing our roads, you got a lot of people who say, I'm all for that.
That's right. Except Paul W., that's not really the fact. You know, the state of Michigan collects about $2 billion to the Michigan Transportation Fund through license plate fees and motor fuel taxes. The government of the United States has in the Federal Highway Trust Fund about $1 billion available to the state most years for match. Michigan has never left any match money on the table in the history of match money. There's no more than the $1 billion that the feds have. It's not an infinite amount, and no amount of Canadian dollars or any other dollars for that matter will get you more than the $1 billion that the feds have. In fact, there's a lot of talk with the federal reauthorization for the highway bill that that's not going to happen, and that if there is an extension to the highway bill, that $1 billion for Michigan will be cut by 30%. So, you know, it's a pipe dream to believe that the feds, who are $14.3 trillion in debt, are just going to throw extra billions of dollars at Michigan. That's not going to happen.
Would the family be prepared to build the bridge away from where you currently are, if need be, to get it done? If in fact you were prevented from expanding where you are and having it empty out into the city of Windsor, would you be prepared to do that at all? Or does that just make no good financial sense?
Well, you know, this is a political process to a certain degree, and I'm trying to recognize that and be sensitive to it. But at the same time, we're used to just sticking by good financial decisions. And if you build a new span adjacent to the Ambassador Bridge, it's at the shortest point of the river. you have to recognize that we've already spent about $500 million in preparations for it. So the net increment is another $500 million. If you build another independent bridge crossing, it's going to cost multi-billion dollars. So if you ask me to divorce myself from financial reality, I'll build it anywhere you want.
All right, and the final thing is this, and speaking of financial responsibility, if you were to pay attention to some of the facts and figures and analysis, in a sense, the family is saying this is not a good business decision on the state because traffic is down, and if you figure the metrics of how much traffic and how many people are going to use it, it doesn't make financial sense. If that's the case, why would the Moroun family want to build the bridge?
Right. That's a big misnomer. We want to build only an additional span right next to the existing at a small fraction of the price of a brand new independent bridge 6 blocks away. Just the span will cost somewhere between $400 and $500 million. We can afford to do it because we spend somewhere between $20 million and more on maintenance every year. We want to do it because we have an 83-year-old bridge that needs to be rehabilitated, shut down, and then put back into service, just like the state did at Blue Water. It's the right plan, it's a cost-effective plan, and we've already had promises from the state and the federal government, of which we've spent considerable sums working on that plan. Now, politically, somebody wants to build a bridge with taxpayer money for no good reason. The only way to build a bridge is with traffic, and traffic's not there. So they've come up with all these other crazy reasons to build a bridge, like what if someone blows up the Ambassador Bridge? Then when that didn't get much traction, well, let's say that if the government builds a bridge, that'll create thousands and thousands of jobs. Every engineer that we've talked to says there wouldn't be any more than 500 people working on construction of the bridge concurrently at any one time, and of course construction would be less than 3 years. So that's a bogus argument. The next argument was, and just a few months ago, Paul W., we need to build the bridge in order to balance the state's budget. Right? Obviously, they've balanced the state's budget without a new bridge. Now the new excuse is, well, we've got to build it just because it's time to build it. Well, why is it time to build it? Not because there's traffic. That's the only reason to have a bridge.
I wish we had more time, Matt. We will again in the future, I'm sure. We've enjoyed talking to your dad in the past, and Nora as well. And we just look forward to this. I think take this to Dad, because he'll agree. Build the bridge. That's what he says. He just has a different idea, as do you, on how it should be done. And we thank you for sharing that with us today.
I had some buttons made when I ran for president of the middle school, and it didn't work for me.
All right, Matt Moroun here, and the family that wants to build the bridge rather than the state. And we'll get the other side of the story, I'm sure, tomorrow when the governor will join us as we continue on the Paul W. Smith Show, checking very quickly some traffic information with Joel.
And brought to you by Z-Bart. And we've got a couple of accidents out there, the one out